A history-making race win, multiple stall starts, and a fantastic redemption drive. F1 Academy's second race in Jeddah was down to the wire. So, what did happen? Well, starting with the good, Verg became the first Ferrari driver to win at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. She was on it from the start with her overtakes, especially during her very entertaining battle with Chambers for P1. However, in this battle, Chambers picked up a 5-second penalty for forcing Verg off the track at turn 22, which obviously isn't good, but I think it's her performance afterwards that means that she deserves to be in the good section of this video, because she absolutely sent it. At one point, she looked like she might have ended up in P4, but she was going so fast that she only dropped to P2. Apart from this, I wouldn't say that any of the performances particularly stood out to me, at least not like they did in race 1. But that's not to say that there wasn't still some really good driving going on, especially when it came to overtakes. But unfortunately, there was also the not so good. Sadly for the wildcard Al Yusuf, she had a pretty terrible time throughout the Jeddah race weekend. During this race, she finished last and there was over a minute between herself and P17. Similarly, there were a number of false starts, but we didn't get the names of all of the drivers. But based on the replays, I believe it was at least these drivers. Also, Felbermeyer had a pretty dreadful weekend. In race 1, she dropped from pole to P9, and in race 2, she went from P8 to P15. But with race 2, I believe that was primarily because Ferrera tagged her on the back during lap 2, which sent her into a spin. And naturally, that landed Ferrera with a 10-second penalty, which isn't ideal because she didn't seem to lose places because of it. But it is the second weekend where she's picked up a significant penalty for causing a collision. And I do feel for her because apart from these collisions, she seems like a great driver. So, where does race 2 leave us in the championship? Well, Verg is now leading the Drivers' Championship. And I think you could see the disappointment in Pam when she got out of the car, because she was clearly pushing, but she seemed to lose pace during lap 12 and she just couldn't get to the front. However, this race has done wonders for Chambers. Not only has she retained P3, but there is also an 11-point gap between herself and Pomoski. As I predicted in my preview for Jeddah, this round has kind of suggested that Verg, Pan and Chambers are going to be running away from the rest of the grid when it comes to securing the podium places. But at the same time, given the number of races and the points distribution, things can change very, very quickly. Finally, this has been a great weekend for MP Motorsport because there are now only 2 points between themselves and Campos Racing for P1, but at the same time, there is only 1 points difference for P6.